Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to cover a class which is a bit different. This one is the support Dragonhunter. It's a bit unusual, but it can work really greatly. The amount of stability is very good, comparable to a Firebrand, and also it has a lot of blocks, AoE blocks for your allies, which can really save your whole Zerg basically if you are in front and you are covering your allies with your F3. And so you can also reset this F3 by using a lot of ages thanks to the traits I will explain later, and also thanks to the elite skill which can reset every virtues, so you can reset your F3 a lot of times. Before starting with the build, I want to say that I saw the results of the poll I made last week in my channel, so the next class I should cover in this channel will be the support Tempest, but I need some time to test it because it was changed yesterday, so I will test the support Tempest. I already tested a bit the Power Reaper with double swords and it was kinda disappointing, and next I will test also the support Spellbreaker, which received some important buffs. So now let's get into the build. The traits are very similar to the support Core Guardian I already covered in this channel, but this time we run the Dragonhunter specialization. We run Valor, Virtues and Dragonhunter. On Valor, we have this minor trait, gain ages when you are struck below the health threshold. So it's basically one application of ages once every 30 seconds. Then we have Strength of the Fallen, lose conditions every interval. This one is not the best trait maybe in the world, but still the other two traits are kinda useless on this class because we don't run focus. Then we have gain protection when you block an incoming attack with aegis, so we will have perma protection, I guess. Then we have communal defenses. Blocking an attack grants aegis to nearby allies, so another aegis application once every 15 seconds. Then we have gain might when we block attacks. We don't need might, we deal 0 damage. And then we have tenacious defense. Aegis you grant reduces the recharge time of Virtue skill 3 when it blocks an attack. So our F3, you see the cooldown is like almost 40 seconds. We press it, it goes on cooldown. Whenever an Aegis we applied to ourselves or to our allies is used because the enemies hit that Aegis and that Aegis was expended, we will reduce the cooldown of the F3 by 1 second. So this is very good to have because we can really spam our F3 with our Aegis application. On Virtues, we have Inspired Virtue. Virtues apply boons to allies when activated, so we will have protection most importantly here on the F3. Then we have Master of Consecration. We run this only for the Hallowed Ground, which will pulse stability and resolution, and is a consecration, so 2 additional seconds of Hallowed Ground means 2 additional pulses of stability and resolution. And also the other 2 traits are kinda bad. This one is another Aegis application, but still it has a 60 seconds internal cooldown, so I think it's worth it more to go for Hallowed Ground on 2 more seconds of duration. Then we have a Virtue of Resolution. We will get some resolution when we use a Virtue, which is not bad. Then we have Absolute Resolve. Our F2 will remove 3 conditions from allies we hit with it. So let's see it. F2, at the end of this jump, we will remove 3 conditions on our allies, and also the Virtue skill 2 passive effect is stronger, healing increased by 25%. Then we have Power of the Virtues. Virtues gain reduced recharge is the important thing. 15% cooldown reduction, which is very nice to have to spam our Virtues more, most importantly the F3. And then we have Indomitable Courage. The active effect of Virtue skill 3 breaks stun and grants stability to nearby allies. Its passive effect gains a shorter interval, so normally the F3 will apply Aegis on you once every 40 seconds. If you run this trait, it will apply once every 30 seconds, so it's more Aegis. And also pressing your F3 will stun break and also apply 3 stacks of stability on you and on your allies. So it's very nice to have because this is The reason why this build can work basically because we have stability here. We will reset the F3 with this trait here. So we will spam F3, we will spam stability, we will spam blocks for our allies. On Dragonhunter we have Soaring Devastation. Our F2 will apply an Immobilize at the end on the enemies. The other two traits are kinda useless. Then we have Gain Vitality, blocking an attack, causes Justice. Okay, we don't really need this. The Vitality is nice though. Then we have Bulwark, Shield of Courage, gains increased radius and duration. So you see our F3, if we run without that trait, is just smaller and lasts for only 3 seconds. But if we run this trait, Bulwark, let's reset our F3 so you can see the difference. The F3 is much bigger and also lasts for more 2 seconds, so it's almost double the duration, considering also how much we reset it with the Aegis and how much we reset with the elite skill. Those 2 additional seconds are really valuable, big value on this trait. And then we have this one, remove conditions when blocking attacks, receive less damage, when you have no conditions on you. So this is not the best trait, like it's very egoistic, but the other 2 traits are for doing damage, so we just need this one. The gears are the old boring Minstrel. We run everything on Minstrel, toughness, vitality, healing power, concentration. We run Superior Rune of the Water instead of Superior Rune of the Monk because we need not much the healing, we need the boon duration, and this one is the better boon duration option. So we will have a lot of boon duration on ourselves, so we can apply a lot of long stability on our allies. On the staff we have the Superior Sigil of Transference and Superior Sigil of Energy, and then on the Mace we have Superior Sigil of Benevolence for some extra healing, and then we have Superior Sigil of Energy also on the shield. Every trinket is Minstrel, and then we run Relic of the Herald to get additional concentration, maximum stacks 10 stacks, each stacks is 25 concentration. Let's see how much we get from it. Basically we reach like 83 boon duration. If you want, instead of Benevolence as a sigil, you can go for the Superior Sigil of Bounty, which is additional concentration, so it's like 25 more multiplied for 9, it's like 225 concentration more, so you will reach the cap or very close to it if you use also a food, for example, like this one and this one. The utility skills are Receive the Light, is a big AoE healing in front of you, it's a lot of heals. We don't have the mantra which gives Aegis like the Firebrand here, so the better option to support is Receive the Light. Then we have, of course, Stand Your Ground to apply stability on our allies, and Stun Break also, big stability, 5 stacks for like 10 seconds, very strong. Then we have Hallowed Ground. Use this skill when we are moving to a position you know you won't leave for a bit, so you are double dodging there, double dodge, you swapping place with your enemies, and we have this pulsing stability, which is very nice, very strong, one of the best skill in War vs World basically. And then we have Advance, it's a shout, grants Aegis and Swiftness up to 5 nearby allies. This one is mostly used for the Aegis, but also the Swiftness is very good to have. It's basically perma Swiftness on your allies unless it gets corrupted, and it has also 2 stacks, and each stack can be used once every 5 seconds, and the counter charge of each stack is 30 seconds. The elite skill is Renewed Focus, you press it basically and you reset every virtue you have, so press it and each virtue gets reset, and we can spam them again. The weapon skills should be used mostly on your allies. This one is the second skill of the staff, it applies some damage and some healing in an AoE, so always prioritize your allies because you need to heal more than doing damage. Then we have Symbol of Swiftness, the damage is basically 0 on this class, but it's nice to have to remove, for example, Aegis from allies, because Aegis gets removed even if your hit is like 1 damage instead of like 20k, so it's nice to remove Aegis from enemies, and also to basically apply perma swiftness together with advance or other sources from other classes. For example, most of the time you will be regrouping with your allies on your commander and you will call for swiftness. You will press this so you can spam swiftness on your allies. Here you have your main healing on the staff. It's a pulsing might and healing. Big heal at the end. It's channeled, you cannot move during it, so be careful, don't use it while you are inside enemies' AoEs, so be careful. And then we have line of warding. It's a line, when the enemies cross it, they get stunned, otherwise they get 1 stack of stability removed if they have stability, maximum 10 targets, very good to have. On the Mace shield we have the auto attack on the Mace. The last chain will apply some healing AoE, but it's very slow, so be careful about using it, but it's very nice to do. Then we have the symbol of fate. It's the skill 2, is another symbol, very small damage, like the skill 3 on the staff. It's another symbol, but instead of pulsing swiftness, it will pulse regeneration, which is nice. Then we have protector strike. It will apply protection. Basically you are blocking an enemy's attack. You see it's a channeled block. If this block gets interrupted, you will block an attack with it, and you will apply Aegis and protection in an AoE around you on 5 allies target. So it's nice to have because it's another Aegis application. Then we have the shield 4. It's this big AoE in front of you. It will apply protection and Aegis, similar to the skill 3 from the Mace, so it's another Aegis application. And then we have the skill 5 from the shield. It's a CC. When you press it, you see you push away the enemies, and then you can press it again to detonate this shield and heal allies inside it. So basically we have Aegis on the skill 3 on the Mace and the skill 4 on the shield. I know this build almost only revolves around the F3, but also the other 2 virtues are kinda important, because the F1 is a big unblockable pull on even 5 targets. If you manage to pierce it on 5 targets, it's very nice to pull down people which, for example, are camping walls. They are defending their keep on their walls, you pull them down, or even people who are trying to run, they have no stability. Always check their boon bar. If they have no stability, you can F1 and then you need to press it again to pull them to you. This is very good. I know you have no damage to kill the people you just pulled, but your Zerg, your allies, will do the job for you. The F2 will apply a big healing at the end, and also it will remove immobilize from yourself and 2 other conditions from yourself, and then it will remove 3 other conditions from yourself and from your other allies, because we have this trait here. So you press it, and at the end you will pulse a lot of heal and apply an immobilize and some damage, and most importantly conde removal. And then we have the F3, which I already covered. Once every 30 seconds we get an Aegis for ourselves, and then when we press it we get another Aegis on ourselves and on our allies. And then we have this 5 seconds block, which is huge to have, because most of the time what you need to do during a Zerg fight, and I will also cover it in the commentary in a bit, you press your F3 and you see my ally get this boon, Shield of Courage. It means that every attack which would land on him will be blocked by my F3, as long as my enemy is in front of me. So you always need to face your enemies, otherwise if the enemy is behind you, you will not block anything, but it's kinda obvious, I mean. It's time for the commentary. This clip is a very nice way to show you and to explain and to teach you how to play this class and to show you the potential. So here I have my F3 on cooldown already at the start of this fight, because maybe I used it previously in a bad way or in a good way, I don't know, I don't remember. So let's go into it. I start immediately by pressing the skill 4 from my shield and applying Aegis on my allies and on myself. I know I also had my skill 3 from the Mace, but to apply Aegis with the skill 3 from the Mace, you need to get hit. And so here I was in a ranged situation and I was not sure to get hit from enemies. So use first your skill 4 if you are not sure of getting hit by enemies. So Aegis, you see, now I have it too. Okay, now we are walking in front. At this point I used my stand your ground because I am the support here, the first support, like we have no firebrand, so I need to apply the stability. So your main role is to apply stability, and then we have the block, let's say 50 and 50. The importance of the blocks and the stability is kinda balanced. Then we are rushing into the enemies. I start channeling my skill 3. Okay, I managed to land it. I get another Aegis on me and on our allies. You see how the cooldown goes down fast. For example, here it was like 22 seconds. Immediately with Aegis it went to like 17 or 16. Then don't forget to use your advance, which is your shout, which will apply Aegis, and also be careful to not spam your Aegis in a very fast sequence, because otherwise you will overwrite the previous Aegis and you will not benefit from all the stacks and all the reduction, sorry. So Aegis now, you see 5 more seconds. Healing skill in front of me. Then hallowed ground here. I know we had already stability, but it was easily to get removed because we were standing in an AoE. At this point I use my F3. I know it's a bad situation to use my F3 because I already pulsed now stability with hallowed ground, so I am wasting a stability kinda, but you see how many enemies are here, so I need to block the attacks coming from those enemies. So I go in front and we will see a lot of blocks. Block, 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 block. You see, all these blocks are saving my allies because I am in front. You don't need to be this in front. You can also lay a bit backwards, but still make sure the white cone of your Aegis, of your F3, sorry, is in front of you and in front of every ally you can possibly imagine. Then I swap to staff. I immediately use my skill 3 and then skill 2. The skill 2 is a blast, so I can blast area con cleanse because the skill 3 is a combo light field. Then F2 to apply immobilize and big heals on me and on my allies. At this point empower because we are still standing here, the skill 4 from the staff. And then I have nothing left, but we are about to move out, so I need to use my elite skill to reset my F3 so I can apply stability, which is running out, by the way. You see low duration, and also I will need to block. I am invulnerable during this. I could have also used my F2 to jump here, but the F2 does not give evade even if it's a very long leap, so be careful because you are very vulnerable while using your F2. And then I turn back again and F3 and I start blocking again. You see how many blocks. This clip is lowered by 50%, otherwise you would see a lot much faster blocks. Then you see the F3 is almost getting reset again because of all the Aegis spam from the Mace 3, Shield 4 and Advance, and also some of the traits which I covered earlier and which gave me some Aegis. Then basically use every skill you have on the Mace because every skill is very good. It's a healing skill, Mace skill with Aegis, shield skills with Aegis. I almost have my F3 ready again. And then at this point the fight is basically over. We are going upstairs. Don't waste your F3 yet. Okay, now you can use it. You go in front. Here I was a bit reckless and a bit cocky maybe, but I knew the fight was over, so I could afford to go in front. You see how much blocks I am blocking for my allies. And then immediately skill 3, skill 2 to blast it. Empower. You see, when I used the empower I dodged back because I was in a bad spot. If I channeled my empower here, maybe I would die. I know the fight was almost over, but still don't get too cocky. Dodge back and you can empower safely here. And your allies will still receive the healing because the radius is kinda big around the empower. And then the F2 to immobilize and to heal. We are about to finish them. They are very hard to kill. You see, they are alive still. We have still stand your ground and hallowed ground on me. I'm ready to apply any stability we need, but the enemies are running. Let me show you a bit of rotation you should follow while in War vs World during a fight. Before this fight starts, most of the time you will be on staff because it's your ranged situation weapon, so you can apply swiftness on your allies, you can heal allies if they get some damage from range, and then probably most of the time you will be double dodging into the enemies, and at the end of the double dodge, you would usually press your F3. Then you start spamming your Aegis because you need the cooldown reduction. First, most of the time you will be going for the skill 4. Then if you are sure you're about to get hit, you use your skill 3, you get hit, and you expand the skill 3 to apply another Aegis on your allies. Then you wait maybe 1 second or 2. Let's make sure your Aegis is running out, like just ran out, just was expanded by enemies hit, so you just benefit from every cooldown reduction on your F3. Then we can start going for advance, and then maybe during the fight you can press, of course, stand your ground and the other healing skills, but I am focusing on the stabilities and on the Aegis. When your skill 3 from the mace is reset, you can use it again. Then you have the skill 4 from the shield again. Then you have advance. Try to cycle these skills one after the other, but not really close to each other. Otherwise, let's say I use my Aegis on this guy. Let's see, for example, this NPC, I think I can buff him. Let's see. Okay, no, I can't. This one I can. Okay, you see, Aegis, if I press immediately my advance, I apply another Aegis on him, and even if I press the F3, another Aegis. But maybe those Aegis, those 2 first Aegis were not expanded, and I didn't benefit from the cooldown reduction, because the cooldown reduction only happens when the Aegis I just applied will block an attack. So this is a very important concept and you need to understand. Don't just smash your keyboard by pressing 4, 3, advance, F3, so you apply like 10 Aegis in a second and they don't get hit, they don't get useful, they don't get used on the tenacious defense trait. Okay guys, this was all for today's video. Thank you for watching. Again, I know this build is kinda weird, you don't see many support Dragonhunters nowadays, but it really works. It's most importantly used in the Chinese meta because it's very tanky, you can tank everything like a Giga Chad. So let me know in the comments what you think about this build, if you already played it. It's not super famous, but I saw other people playing it in the Europe servers. See you into the next video, and again, thank you for watching. Please leave a like and a subscribe. Have a good night. Bye bye.